Alright, let's take a look at this clean. Okay, so you're getting nice and tight. Overall, this looks fine. I'd like to see an angle a bit more from the front to see exactly where it looks like your feet are, the flare on your feet, and just what your body looks like in this position just from a more front angle. So if you get that, that would be helpful. Otherwise, this doesn't look too bad. Maybe the hips are a little high, but again, I'd like to see some other angles, see more of your body proportions before making that claim. It looks like maybe you could even be a little bit too far ahead, but this angle from slightly behind exaggerates how much it's going to look like you're ahead. So keeping all those things in mind while I'm looking at this particular frame, I don't think there's that much you really have to change from the start, if anything. Again, other angles might be useful, but overall, this looks pretty solid. Always work on keeping that back nice and tight, but you have a nice curve there. Maybe that chest a little bit more up, but again, not the biggest concern right now. So let's move on from there. This looks good. Shoulders, bar, and hips all moving at the same rate. And this is pretty good here. You're still over, back is still nice and tight, so that's good. Now here there's a slight problem that's going to happen where you kind of start pulling without ever really achieving a power position. So if we watch here, you're coming, so you try and spot where your power position would be, which frame. So as you can see, there's nothing that really stands out as the moment before you're about to, finally finish and everything. Because as you're coming up, nothing too bad about coming up, but as you're coming up, you see the way the bar is now starting to travel up and already out, as if, notice how it's already moving out here, as if you're already starting the second pull, you're already extending up. But this would not be the type of position where you would want to start the second pull. You can see, heels a little off, torso way forward. This is not really like a power position. A power position, you want that torso much more straight, the shoulders behind the bar, heels down if you can. So this is not really a position where we would want to start pulling or anything like that. But it looks like you kind of are here, a little bit too soon. Now the bar is away from you, already pulling up, it's moving away. See, your torso angle here is more like where you would start the extension, but you can see, and I'll show a bar path in a moment, how the bar is already starting to move out. So it looks like you're starting to pull too early here. Nonetheless, a nice straight extension, which is good, not a lot of layback. Maybe your arms are bent too much and you're doing too much arm pulling, hard to tell from this angle. This looks like it might, but hard to tell from this angle. Now you're going to watch yourself jump forward to catch it. That's because a lot of the stuff previously said about starting to pull too early. Okay, so you move a little forward. Okay, overall, nothing too bad about this part. Like to see that chest and elbows higher, lift that up more, but this is not that much of a problem. But now as you go down, this upper back here is starting to really round over, and especially now as you stand, this is not that good of a position to stand for. This is too forward, elbows are too down, too much pressure everywhere, not well balanced. Also a little uncomfortable even getting into this position. You can see how high you catch it, plenty of pull and everything, which is why you're maybe pulling with the arms too much, but again, like you see from the other angle. But plenty of height, already up here, slowing it down here, and then really lost position, forward, everything's down and forward coming up. Next big thing is in this part, as you're putting the bar down, watch your back, how much you round over, like this. Now it may seem like it's not a big deal, but actually it's quite important. The way you put the bar down should be the exact same way that you put the bar up. Unless you're just going to dump it straight off your chest and just let it fall, don't be in a position like this. This is just enforcing a bad pattern, bad motor habit, everything like that. It just even raises a chance for injury. It may feel like it's easy or nothing, but basically don't do this. In fact, this is probably the highest priority of things to fix. It's also the easiest things to fix. Just make sure as you're lowering it down, keep that nice tight back, keep that chest up as you lower it down. Don't round over like this or anything like that. I like to show your second one. Put a bar path here. Bar path, especially as a beginner, is not really that important to worry about, but I just want to demonstrate something about when you're starting your pull. So off the ground, like it basically said, looks good. Slightly forward off, not really a big deal. Then it's coming backward, and that's good. So now with this path, we can see when the bar starts traveling out. And basically right here, it's traveling out as if you're starting your explosive part of the lift. You know, what's called the second pull. And this is really not the position. The bar should still be coming in. You need that nice planted position before you come up. You can see here how much the bar has actually already come out. This is why, especially on this rep, you really come forward. You can see how much you've had to come forward and how forward that bar has traveled. You know, starting from here to there, usually should come back. Your bars actually come pretty forward from the start. And similar with the clean, upper back collapses and everything. So what are the remedies for this? Well, off the start, not much needs to be changed. Maybe think about what I said, look at from the other angle, but nothing probably has to be changed from the start. The pull you need to wait for. What does that mean? It means don't think about the hips going forward. Don't think actually about extending up. Just think about standing up with the weight. Think about just standing. And you want to do this until it actually feels uncomfortable. You should almost feel panic, like, uh-oh, I have to extend, it's too late. If you feel like that, that's good. Wait a little longer. This is much easier said than done. But this is what you have to do. You have to wait like that until it feels uncomfortable, until it feels like you really should be going. So that's just more of a mental thing. Biggest thing is to practice this with pulls because there's less pressure and less anticipation of getting under when you're doing the pull first. So what I recommend, do some complex 2 clean pulls and a clean. And then make sure in the clean it follows the form of the clean pulls where you've waited. Okay, so now let's say you're waiting. That's going to help. That's going to make this a lot more straight up. Now what I'd like to see you do, and you can even do this all in one with the clean pulls, do some more high block work if you can, or high hang, because you're a little hesitant to get under, so this will help. In fact, actually don't do them both together. Focus one at a time. It's too much to focus on. So like I said, do that so you get under better. And for your next several sessions of front squats, probably want to do pause so you can be in this position and lift those elbows up. Elbows should be more like this. That back should be much more straight. It doesn't have to be completely straight. If it was maybe like this, that's fine. A little bit more. Those elbows should definitely be up. Mainly concerned about this upper back spot, how now it's more rounded over. So do some pause front squats, do some pulls in the way I previously mentioned, and then as you put it down, make sure you keep that back tight. Don't let it round over like that.